All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye. Hey, that about Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show. No, it isn't. Let me fucking rewind. It is the Liverpool versus Arsenal preview, where I break down the important game tomorrow, talk to you about tactics, who I think will win, and what my hopeful starting 11 will be. I hope you guys are all well. Please do, first and foremost, absolutely crush the like button, like smash it, abuse it, backslap it, do what you need to do in order to let this video liked and up there. So if you can do that for me, that'd be great. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications if you already hit the subscribe button. Plenty of stuff coming over the next. Well, I've got a little holiday with the missus for a few days, and then after that, plenty of stuff coming your way very very soon. So make sure you keep an eye on what's out there to come. And then also, if you've done all of those, then hit the share button. There's always something for everyone to do. Share the video around to people who you think will like the video, so we can go from there. Okay, let's talk about Arsenal versus Liverpool. An important game. And it's a game that doesn't immediately scare me like it used to. Bless you. Doesn't immediately scare me like it used to. So it's a game where I think if we approach it with a good mindset and a good positive attitude, we may not get slapped. Liverpool are the champs. We know this. They are the blueprint essentially to what Arsenal hope that they can do. And that is, they've turned their outfit into one of the best teams in the world. It's as simple as that. They've not started amazingly well in the league in terms of how I'm sure that they would prefer to perform. So that was as much said by Alisson. That's not just me saying that. Alisson, their own goalkeeper, said that. I think of the 4-3 win against Leeds. I'm sure they would have hoped for a lot less stress. I'm sure when Liverpool fans saw Leeds as their first game, they probably thought, okay, cool, light work. It was anything but. But against Chelsea, they got back on track. And yeah, sure, Chelsea had a player sent off, but actually for me, I felt they were on top anyway. They largely had that game controlled even before someone was sent off. I say someone, I actually was watching the game, completely forgotten who got sent off. But anyway. And then just to top it off a little bit, they then smashed Lincoln City, which you would expect them to do. So Liverpool are slowly getting back into top gear. They currently sit fourth in the league. I think they sit one behind us, apparently, in the league. That's only because of the goals that they conceded to Leeds. And I think from our point of view, this is in a way the litmus test. Because all you're hearing is how much Arsenal have changed and how much they've grown and how much they've developed over the past couple of months since obviously Arteta's been here, and how we're well beaters and this, that, and the other. And quite frankly, I think we'll know where we are as a team after this game. Like, we'll know where we are. And that doesn't mean to say that even if we beat Liverpool, we're suddenly in a title race or whatever. But I think that we will know where we are as a team moving forward after this game. Like, this will really show us. This is going to be the reality check that maybe us and a lot of fans need. Or it's going to be like, okay, maybe Arsenal are finally about this life. I think from my point of view, obviously you guys heard yesterday, I don't even know what happened. I just went into a rant yesterday about just the frustration of the Aouar deal and the Thomas Partey deals and just the lack of movement and progress. Now, for me, that's the difference that we need in order for us to eventually become a title side. You have to look to reinvent your midfield. For me, this is not hard. You look at someone like Everton, who probably two things you would have pointed to Everton that they needed. A striker who bangs in goals. It seems like Calvert-Lewin has decided he's going to step up and be that guy. And then a midfielder. Not only did they get one midfielder, they got two midfielders. They Rago decided to throw James Rodriguez in there, and suddenly they're winning games. And I think from our point of view, we need to be able to look to do something similar. Be drastic, rebuild your midfield. And that's not, all right, I don't think Granit Xhaka is good enough personally, but even if you're one of the people who do, so obviously happy birthday to him because I know it's his birthday, but even if you're one of the people who does think he's good enough, you lay down that challenge to a Granit Xhaka, you lay down that challenge to a Dani Ceballos, and you say to them, look, we brought these two in because we believe that that's the difference between us and, say, Liverpool, that we don't have that midfield competition. Now we brought them in. It's game on, motherfuckers. If you want to get in this side, you have to show that you are of a level to still be in this team, to remain in this team, and to push yourself to be in this team. So I think for me, that's the difference here. I think we need to be able to, because I think our midfield has been a problem for a long time, and I think it still is, even with the results that we've had. I said this to Lee the other day. As an Arsenal side, we don't control midfield anymore. It's almost a kind of we play a game of, all right, well, we're going to defend as best as we can and then hit you on the break. There is no structure to our midfield because, Granit Xhaka can't run, can't really hold up the ball, but he can't run. And Ceballos runs all day for you, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't really go anywhere of any significance some of the time. Whereas I think someone like a Partey imposes himself on you. Even Aouar imposes himself on you. I think that partnership of a midfield, it would be an amazing one if Arsenal could be brave enough to make it happen. But anyway, I digress. Let's focus on the Liverpool game. So I don't expect this to be a pretty game to watch. I don't expect this to be one where I suddenly think Granit Xhaka becomes a world-class player or whoever. But I do think that, as usual, the way we've been beating big teams is just being resilient in terms of seeing out wave after wave of attack and hitting them on the break. That's exactly what we're going to have to do against Liverpool. Liverpool will be determined because we've had some positive results against them recently. They'll be determined to almost give us the reality check that maybe they think that we need. And it's up to us to stand up and be countered. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to show you what my starting lineup would be. You guys, let me know what you think. I will share that with you guys now. Bear with 1 sec. Chrome tab. There you go. So this is my starting 11 ahead of Liverpool. As usual, I'll explain each facet of the team. I think there's a good chance Arteta might actually go with this, but I'll explain why I've done what things that I've done. I'm going with Bernd Leno in goal because I don't trust this new goalkeeper that we bought. I just don't like his stats, to be fair. Look like he trains quite well, if that's any kind of consolation. But from my perspective, I am going with Bernd Leno in goal. Stop it. I don't know what you're talking about. I muted myself. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't, I can't hear you. Anyway, so I've gone with a back three because obviously we're away from home against a big team. So I've gone with Kieran Tierney in the back three. I think he'll be okay. The last I heard about Tierney was that he had a knock. Obviously missed the Leicester game, but I would have been expecting him to play against that Leicester team. But I'll slide him into the back three. If he doesn't make it for whatever reason, I'd love Saliba to be the one to replace him. But I'm going to go with Kieran Tierney in the back three. David Luiz, because when you put him in the middle of a back three, he's perfect. And I think it's the only thing, his only role at the moment is just try and be a mentor for Gabriel and whatever young person in the team, and try and be an example. And I think this is Gabriel's future position as well. So playing alongside Gabriel, I think this would be clever. So I'll go with David Luiz as the centre of the three, and then I'll go with Gabriel on the right-hand side. Now, normally I think this would be a Saliba position, but I don't. I think this will be fine. So I'm going to go with Gabriel on the right-hand side of this. I know that if for Lille, he's sometimes played on the right-hand side of the two. So he should be fine in this position. Right back, I'm going with Enzo Maitland-Niles. I know the realism is that Bellerin will play. Bellerin actually hasn't played quite too badly recently. I still don't think he's good enough. Even though, yes, I accept he's done okay recently. But I'll go with Enzo Maitland-Niles. I think we're going to need runners. Enzo Maitland-Niles did so well against Liverpool last year. Funny enough, on the left-hand side, which to be honest is what I think will happen tomorrow. I think Arteta will opt to play Enzo Maitland-Niles on the left and do a similar job that he did to Salah the last time we played. But I'm going to stick him on the right-hand side because, quite frankly, Mane's a better player. We can get him to do a similar job to Mane. Fantastic. On the left-hand side, I'm going with Saka. Now, obviously, as I've just said, I love Saka. One of his things is not necessarily defensive work, but he can track back. I've noticed it is something that he's trying to utilize in his game. But I've obviously stuck him in there for what he can bring to us from an attacking stance, especially when Trent goes wandering. So I've gone with Saka on that left-hand side. In the centre, I've gone with Granit Xhaka and Ceballos because, quite honestly, our central midfield is an issue. We've got Torreira, who's got 1 foot out the door. We've got Guendouzi, who cannot be asked to put a foot in or out of the door. Who else is there? You've got Joe Willock, I guess, but I'm not going to stick him in this match. Just don't rate Joe Willock straight up. And who else is there? I don't think we have any other fit central midfielders. So for me, I think this is just the obvious. This is exactly why I bring in Partey and by the way. So we just don't have any central midfielders. So anyway, these are the two that I'd bring into the team. On the right-hand side, I almost went with Willian. Because Willian will run for you. He does pretty well against Liverpool. I almost went with Willian. The only thing is, they're terrified of Pepe. They are terrified of Pepe. Just ask Van Dijk about Pepe. Trust me, he's terrified of him, and that's the reason I'd stick him in there. I think you've got to give. This is our £72 million signing. It's all well and good saying to him, "Oh, he's got to have a big season," but he's got to play to have a big season. So let's see what he can bring to the table, because obviously, if this season doesn't work out for him, then a genuine conversation needs to happen next summer about whether you keep him. And I love him, but let's just be real here. I'm going with Pepe on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, I've gone with Aubameyang. I've given up having this argument about Aubameyang playing on the left-hand side. It seems to work. So I have no issue with it. Up top, I've gone with Lacazette. Almost went with Eddie, I must confess. The kid has recently scored. He's done well. There's an argument to be made that he should be playing, but I've gone with Lacazette. I just feel Lacazette against bigger teams seems to turn up. Little teams is another question, but against bigger teams, he seems to motivate himself a little bit more. So I'm going with Lacazette up top. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know what you guys think about that. And no doubt you guys will let me know. This has been a pre-recorded video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, no doubt me and Lee will be doing a watch along together tomorrow. And I'll be back on this channel to do player ratings with him and do a small review with them. So that's pretty much that, guys. I hope you guys have been well, have enjoyed it. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace.